Yo, what's up, guys? I got my Bob Ross energy drink here. All right, so I'm getting hyped up right now. This lesson is going to be about how to texture something. Okay, it's an introduction to texturing, and really what I'm talking about is how to use the shading tab together with the UV editing tab. Okay, so this is an intro to texturing using the shading tab and UV editing tab. And let's just get started here. All right, check it out. We got just a regular cylinder, and I want to put some designs on here. I want to texture it. So I jump over the shading tab right away. And the reason I'm over in the shading tab is to use the material menu. It looks like a red beach ball. I'm going to create two materials real quick. And of course, I rename them. Let's call this can label. And then I'm making another material called top drinking hole. I don't know what you call that top of the can, the top lid or something. But the reason I'm making these two materials is so that you can see a differentiation, and it's also going to clarify something about the whole texturing process. Okay, let me just give specific colors to each of these materials just so that you can easily distinguish them. Okay. I have to go into edit mode, and I'm going to select the top of the can and of course assign the proper material to the proper section of the can. There it is. Okay. Next, I'm going to select the can label material, and I'll hit Shift A to add an image texture. This is so I can bring in an image from my computer. I already loaded one in here, and this is a hand-drawn image. Okay, I'm connecting color to base color, and you can clearly see that it's a hand-drawn image. At the end of this lesson, I will show how to draw inside of Blender. It'll be an introduction to painting in Blender, but I'll save it for the very end. Okay, I'm in the shading tab, and I've got the image connected. However, it doesn't look right. That's when it's time to go to the UV editing tab to get the image to look right. Don't forget to hit Z and switch to material preview. Okay. And then don't forget to hit the letter A so that you can select all parts of your 3D model, and then that'll show up inside your 2D side. Okay. Now I can't really adjust my map correctly without looking at the labels. So you have to use the library button once again at the top of the screen. This, it's kind of a small button hidden with a whole bunch of other icons, but you got to start recognizing the library button. Very useful. Okay, boom, look what happened. It stretched out my map. Okay, normally textures, everyone recommends making textures as perfect squares, but it's actually okay to use a different ratio. You just have to make some adjustments later, but it's okay to use any size image, really. I'm going to hold down Alt or Option if you're on a Mac to select this whole row of UV points, and then I'm going to hit GY to lower it, okay? So I hope you guys can see the relationship here between the 2D side and the 3D side. Yeah, I think this can will look better if I hit S and scale it on the Z-axis. Okay, a Coke can or a soda can, a little bit taller, and now my map looks good. All right, let's go back and add the top lid just to review everything that I showed you so far here. And I'm going to stay in edit mode here. Okay, I don't know if there's two circles here, and I don't know which one is the top or the bottom, but I'll show you how to figure that out. So let me go back to the shading tab, and I'm purposely kind of reviewing this whole process again in a different way so that it'll really drive home using the shading tab and the UV editing tab. Okay, so I've got my other material selected. I already finished working on the can texture, so I'm going to select this other material, and of course Shift A, I need an image texture, connect color to base color, and I don't have the lid image loaded up, so I hit open, and let's just load it up here. Boom, there it is. Okay, it's in there, and it replaced the color, right? But I have to go to the UV editing tab now. Connected the image, go back to the UV editing tab to get the placement correct. Okay, This time I'm going to use the letter L to try to select the proper shell. They call these UV islands shells sometimes, and it's all dependent on where your mouse is hovered when you hit the letter L. So just be careful with that. And if I wiggle this around, you can see that the right side, this is the bottom of the can. So I picked the wrong one. That's okay. Always important for me to show you guys this whole process, and sometimes that includes mistakes. All right, I hit G and wiggle it around. Okay, this is doing something. However, I'm not looking at the right image. So use your library button once again, switch to the correct image. I hit G, try to center this. S to scale, Y to lock it to the Y-axis. I'm eyeballing a perfect circle there, scale it up a little more. And I think that's good enough for now. Okay, so this is the whole process. I hope you guys appreciate this tutorial, trying to break down the workflow of using shading tab and UV editing tab. There's a lot more to learn about texturing, but this is just an intro. Now let's talk about painting in Blender. Okay, so let's see, how about I go over to the layout here, and I'm just gonna switch to image editor. Okay, so how do I paint something in Blender? Well, you have to first switch from the view menu to paint. Okay, oh yeah, by the way, I switched to image editor first, and then by default it's going to be in view, but we want to paint. And I'm just going to create a new image. So how about I just hit the X button? So this middle interface is letting you know like what image you're looking at. So I hit X, I can create a new one. I don't know, I'm going to go a little wider for the label because I want it to wrap around, and I'll just call this like new label. And I'm just going to make the same crappy looking label. Okay, it's a little wider there. Got my tablet out, and let's start painting. Okay, I have to switch to paint again. I'm going to first fill it with red because I'm making a cola can. Switch back to brush. I'll use white. F to adjust your brush size. Shift F to adjust the strength. Right, got my cola here. There we go. Okay, and then maybe a nutrition label. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other tools in the N panel. Okay, you got your T panel for the tools on the left, and then you got your N panel, which has tons more options. Okay, there's tons of videos on YouTube, of course, but I'll make another video showing my workflow of how to do some like real painting, but this is just an intro so you can get started. And of course, once you start painting, this is immediately saved in your Blender scene, but hit pack if you want to make sure that it's embedded inside your Blender file. Otherwise, when you close this out, Blender is going to give you a warning that you didn't save your image. So you can do both save as, just to make sure it's saved as a separate PNG or JPEG, and then also pack it into your Blender file. Okay guys, I hope this tutorial was useful. Yeah, hope you're inspired, and stay thirsty, my friends.